Yo, still bills. What's the deal, man? Yo, I'm making a little quick run or whatever the case may be. I'll go pick up a prescription for my daughter. But while I'm out, I want to talk to the homies real quick, man. So, peep game, man. I want to get into something, man. And that something is, does a fight still have value if you sit on it for too long, man? And, you know, I've been, once again, as I continue to say, as long as you have access to social media, you will always have something to talk about on these platforms. So I'm arguing with some cats, and you know, these niggas want to just continue to hold Al Heyman in this as his beacon of hope for black progression. It's sickening to me, man. The shit, it literally baffles me. It turns my stomach. But I called him out on a lot of the shit that he's done, the little game goofy shit that he's done. Is it, you know, with him, when it comes to him being a promoter, he sits on fights. You know, he sits on fights. He over marinates some. It's an oversaturation of the pay-per-view market. It's publicity stunts and media antics to, you know, throw somebody off the scent of a fight that we want. He does a lot of game goofy shit as a promoter. Even look at the bad fucked up deal he's trying to walk Bud into. You dig? I don't know. It's kind of it's trickery, man, because, you know, it's like he'll do some shit to get you to, he'll bait you into doing some shit that you may not, everybody else may not necessarily be like, yo, bro, why is you doing that shit? Why wouldn't you just do this? Why wouldn't you do that? So he'll bait you into doing some shit that I had the other side looking at you like, yo, man, you should have did this and you should have did that. It's trickery. It's sorcery. We got to admit. But these niggas that I'm on Facebook arguing with, they're so, you know, they just don't want to, you know, call him out and hold his feet to the fire for the things that he's done. As you know, just as far as these fights go, man. So now I'm asking the question, like, why are we just now getting Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez after Caleb Plant has already been stopped and neither one of them are champions? When we could have got this fight at least 3 years ago when they were both undefeated world champions and stablemates. And in order not to be critical of Al Heyman, oh, well, it's still a good fight. I never said it wasn't a good fight. I said, why couldn't we get it when we asked for it? I remember specifically asking for Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez at least 2 years ago, at the very least. It's not that it's not a good fight. It's not that at all. It's the fact that why are we getting it in the now? And does it still have the same allure to it as it once did? Is it a good fight? Yes, it is a good fight. Does it have the same allure to it? Fuck no. It doesn't. Why doesn't it? Because they were once upon a time two undefeated world champions who sat at the top of the fucking division. Stablemates. There was no reason why that fight couldn't have got made. There was no reason for that shit whatsoever. We finna see who's the best out of these two. One of y'all O's gotta go. It has to, unless it's a draw. But one of y'all O's have to go. We're gonna find out who's the better of you two so we can stop all the speculating and stop all the fantasy matchups. You dig? Your style shows that it could contradict David Benavidez, but David Benavidez's pressure can show that it contradicts your foot speed. Now we could have had it, 3 years ago, when they were at I'm not saying that they're at their best, because we may be getting the best Caleb Plant right now because of the caliber of competition that he's fighting, and the caliber of competition that he's fighting. But and we may be seeing the best David Benavidez as an ad, but we may not be. But the fact of the matter is, it should have happened years ago. So it's a good fight, but it's not, the allure is gone, and y'all got the nerve to try and put it on fucking pay-per-view, bro. Like, that shit should be against the law. I asked Stu, I said, all right, well, would Bud Crawford and Earl Spence have the same type of appeal to it if they met at 154 pounds for no belt? You said, yeah, it will be. How? All their O's on the line. their reputation is on the line, and who wants to be the HNIC of the division is on the line. How does that have how does moving up to a new division where you hold no real estate at, how is that the same allure? We don't even know how we don't know if they would be the same at 154 pounds. So how is it the same allure if they move up when we don't even know where they at? As opposed to where we know where they're at 147 pounds. We know they're the only two champions in the division. We know they stand above, maybe not both of them head and shoulders, but we know they stand above everybody else in the division at 147 pounds. We know what's on the line when it comes to these two. How is it that they can move up to a whole new division where they hold no real estate in, and that shit would still be just as alluring as it was when they was at 147 pounds? It makes no sense. That makes no fucking sense. Like, you niggas be coming up with anything just to sit here and not have to clap at Al Heyman. Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua is another case. Is it a good fight still? Yeah. Is that still a box office fight? Hell yeah, it is. But it pales in comparison to when they were both undisputed world champions and undisputed was on the line. Now these niggas is going to a fight with no straps, no real estate. They don't hold no jewelry in the division. It's not the same allure. Anybody who would tell you that it is lying to you, and they don't want to hold their savior's feet to the fire. Like, nigga, that's some Buster shit right there, bro. That's some Buster shit. All right, well, you know, everybody gets into it with their parents. Maybe not as bad as others, but you're gonna have a skirmish with your parents, your siblings, your loved ones. You mean to tell me you're critical of them, you hate them because you got into it with them? Al Heyman is too good of an individual for you to fathom doing something to him that you would do to your own flesh and blood, or someone that you actually know, that you've seen in the physical. If you heard their voice in the crowd, you turn around, oh, that's my nigga so-and-so. You see their picture, oh, that's the bro right there. Al Heyman is above reproach with that. You're above reproach and above that type of interaction with him, but your loved ones isn't. It's just the dumbest shit in the world. Like, y'all don't even try to hide the bias. Y'all don't even try to hide how stupid you niggas sound. I heard, oh man, you know, it's self-hating niggas, it's coons, it's racism. How? How? It's not coonish to criticize this man for being, for coming out on more than one occasion that he's withholding money from these niggas. Gervonta Davis owning car dealerships, Jamal Charlo's car getting declined in spots and bars and restaurants and shit like that. You think that them niggas ain't blowing through that money that fast? The fuck are you talking about? I just don't understand how it's of that much importance for y'all to this isn't being codified for all of you dumbass niggas. This isn't being on code. This isn't being a perpetuator of black excellence and black progression. This ain't it. This ain't it at all. This is the Obama effect. Like, you niggas is real life some doofuses, man. I have niggas telling me Plant and Benavidez is just as appealing as it was to when they were both sitting world champions and undefeated in the same stable. It wasn't like Callum Smith and David Benavidez was looking to lock horns, or Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant was looking to lock horns, but they couldn't because they were on rival platforms. No, these niggas was on the same platform. Why are they not getting in the middle of the ring and mixing that up? Earl Spence and Bud has the same level of allure to it at 154 pounds with no real estate, no thorough, unquestionable ranking within the division. It has the same appeal to it as it did to when they were both sitting world champions, number 1 and number 2 at 147 pounds, and undisputed was on the line. King of the Hill, top head nigga in charge. That's on the line at 147 pounds. They don't have that at 154. They got to start from the bottom at 154. It makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. And for you to call it out and address it and speak on it and be critical of it is to be deemed a coon. It's stupid as shit. Caleb Plant and David Benavidez is a fight that should have happened years ago. Is it a fight that still has appeal to it? Yeah, it's a good fight. Would it have been better if one of them took a belt from the other and their undefeated record? Yeah, that would have been much better. That would have been a hell of a lot better. I don't see how anybody can argue against it. Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, is it a good fight now? Yes. This box office. Would it have been better if they fought for all of the real estate in the division and a title in the division as HNIC? Yeah. I'm taking your belt and I'm taking your O from you. How is that not more appealing? How is that not more appealing? See how I'm not saying that it's a bad fight. I'm just simply saying it's not as appealing as it was when they both had something to lose. These niggas have nothing to lose but an interim strap. That shit don't count. Bud and Spence at 154, they ain't got nothing to lose up there. They don't know their rank and their positioning within that division for it to count. Wilder, Joshua, they have nothing to lose in this fight. Outside of some superficial fandom arguments, there's no belt on the line. Nobody's rep is on the line. It's not the same, my nigga. It's not. I don't know what else. I don't get it. Will Leo Santa Cruz and goddamn Gary Russell Jr., will that fight be the same? No, it's a good fight, but it's a fight that should have been happening. Spence and Keith Thurman, good fight. I'm not saying that it's a bad fight. I'm saying, why couldn't them niggas have fought when they were both world champions? I'm saying, why couldn't them niggas have fought at least when Spence was on the come up and at his best? Why couldn't we get them fights then? But nobody, it's blasphemous for you to ask these type of questions. It's blasphemous, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, how dare you go against how dare you go against the Almighty God like that? You dig? I'm not saying these are bad fights. I'm simply saying, who the fuck is these niggas? Someone had to come out of the pharmacy to holler at this car in front of me. But I'm not saying these are bad fights. I'm simply saying these are fights that should have happened years before they actually go down. Thurman and Keith should have been happened years ago. Plant, Benavidez should have been happened years ago. Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder should have been happened years ago. It should have been happened. Jermall Charlo versus a Carlos Adames should have happened. It should have been happened by now. Jermall Charlo versus Landy Lara. Oh, yo, pause. Yeah, Jermall Charlo versus goddamn not Carlos Adames, but Landy Lara. Why isn't that fight happening in the now? Why didn't that shit happen years ago when Lara has been calling that man out for years? Once again, these are fights that could be happening within this stable, bro. These fights could be happening within that stable, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's the holdup? What's the holdup? These fights lose their value the longer you sit on them. If you sit on them for too much, it's not an appealing fight as it once was. It loses its allure. So I'm excited. I'm not super excited about Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. I'm intrigued by it most definitely, bro. I'm like, it's definitely a good fight. But it's just not the same as it was in goddamn 2019, 2020. It's not. I still want to see Wilder and Joshua. It's just not as alluring as it once was. If Bud and Spence meet at 154 pounds, the allure is It's not what it once was. It isn't. Pause one more again. Hey, these people about to drive me crazy. But yeah, it's okay to be critical of somebody that you're fond of. That's cool. That's A-okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Like, you niggas need to be being bitch made and tell that nigga, bro, you fucking the game up, my nigga. I don't want to wait 5 years to see a fight. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to wait that long. Give us what the fuck we asking for when we ask for that shit. Strike while the iron is hot. Not when it's, feasible marketably, however you want to put that shit into context. God damn, bro. Like, I just, like, oh damn, that ain't happening. Like, you niggas bother me with that shit, man. Y'all get on my fucking nerves with that, man. Stop being hoes and let them niggas know. That's a bar right there too. So that's all I gotta say about it, man. Deuces.